next on All Access.
What's opening day going to be like here in Foxborough fans?
Well, it's going to be nice to have people there. No more library in the press box, Mike. I'm looking forward to that.
Library in the press box?
No, it was bad. Like last year was just so different.
So it'll be electric.
Time now for the Belestrator. Waddle, pretty special in the slot, right?
Very good with the ball in his hands. Very elusive guy. Explosive on short tear screen type plays, under routes. It's a big weapon for him that the Dolphins have added.
Is this team ready to go?
I think everyone's excited, put in a lot of work today, and put in a lot of work through training camp, the off season, so we're getting there.
I was watching the news and saw the plane.
I was getting ready to go to high school, and I looked over at the TV, and I remember thinking to myself, must be like a new movie coming out.
Totally consumed by the events of that morning. A morning, unlike any other.
Hello and welcome to the regular season premiere of Patriots All Access presented by GEICO. I'm Steve Burton. It's our 25th season opener and we can't wait to get started. We got a great show and a lot to get through. We begin with the state of the team heading into the season opener against the Miami Dolphins. Here's Dan Roach.
It's a sure sign that football season is upon us. The annual Patriots team cookout at the summer home of owner Robert Kraft.
It was cool. It's cool to do it with a bunch of teammates, staff, people that we go, or work with every single day. So it was a lot of fun.
After 19 training camp practices, 4 joint practices, and 3 preseason games, Mac Jones emerged as the Patriots starting quarterback.
When you're young, you want to play in the NFL, and obviously it's a great opportunity, and I just got to be prepared and focus on what I need to focus on.
Well, I tell him he's not a rookie. This is his offense, and to lead it as such. We go as he goes.
Meanwhile, the Dolphins D will throw everything but the kitchen sink at the rookie.
Every play is going to present a different issue, and I'm just going to trust what I've been taught and just go from there and just focus on communication is a big thing, and just talk it out, and we'll figure it out as it goes along.
As for the Pats D, they'll be facing second-year quarterback Tua Tagovailoa.
I got to know him well over the year that I was with him, and I think his growth in 1 year is a lot. Just the progressions of his reads, just really good football player.
The Pats D will also see a Miami rushing attack that gouged New England for 250 yards last December.
It's the most important thing, I always like to say, stop the run and have some fun. Everybody wants to pass rush. Everybody wants to get sacks, so before you do that, you got to stop the run.
And finally, the Pats can't wait to open up their 2021 season here at Gillette Stadium.
Anytime you get a chance to play football, it's exciting, but more importantly, in the division, with a lot on the line right off the bat, you couldn't ask for anything better.
This year's Patriots team will have 24 players on the 53-man roster that did not play in a game during the 2020 season for the Pats. And that includes 4 players who are back for a second stint here in New England. That would be Harvey Longy, Ted Karras, Kyle Van Noy, and Trent Brown. For Patriots All Access, I'm Dan Roach.
All right, Roachy, thank you very much. Time now for our panel discussion. 2 segments. Two segments
right off the top.
Mike Reese and Paul Perillo, good to see you guys. Talking about the quarterback, the rookie. Are you surprised Bill Belichick handed over the keys to the kingdom, to the offense, to the rookie?
Yeah, based on everything we saw in the summer, yes, I'm a little surprised. Now, that doesn't mean anything on the field, Mike, because I think we all sort of watched Mac Jones and felt like he was making progress, felt like he was throwing the ball better than Cam Newton, but we kept watching Cam Newton lead off every drill, every segment of practice, all 3 preseason games. It looked like Bill Belichick was planning on at least opening the season with Cam Newton, but then it changed. And I do think if you're going strictly on performance, Mike, I think the coach got it right, and he really had no options.
And I'll be curious if you agree with this, Paul. I feel like my biggest takeaway from watching Cam and Mac in spring training camp preseason is that when Mac was in there, it looked like the Patriots offense, like empty sets, setting the protection at the line of scrimmage, 2-minute offense. when Cam was in there, it didn't look the same.
Right.
That doesn't mean it was necessarily bad. It just wasn't what the Patriots usually do.
And it was obvious to us. It's even more obvious to the coaching staff.
I think so, and I think to me, at the end of the day, the decision is made to say, you know what, we can get back to being us. And I think that's where the final decision ultimately came to.
And I think that's a big part of it. I agree with what Mike said there, because I do think it was definitely a closer representation of what we're used to when Mac Jones is at the helm.
But what are your expectations of the kid now, of Mac Jones? How high are they?
Well, I mean, I want to see him play a few games. I'm going to be a little bit different than a lot of my colleagues that have sort of made the comparison to Tom Brady and all these other things. I like what I've seen. I think some of the things that Mike said were absolutely, I would 100% agree with. His ability to sort of operate at the line of scrimmage looks like he has an idea of what he's doing, the 2-minute drill and things like that. Found it really interesting, Steve. All 3 preseason games, they came out of the halftime with a specific plan. There was no huddle, I think, 2 out of the 3 games. Touchdown drives, I think, in all 3 games. I think he really looked good with that kind of structure. And you know, Josh McDaniels said, hey, this is what we're going to do. We're going to come out to start the third quarter doing this. And all 3 times, Mac Jones was really good.
And I might build off what Paul said. Like, I'm not going to compare him to Tom Brady, but I might compare him to the style of play that Tom played in 2001. We forget, like, there were games Tom Brady was passing for 100 yards, and they were winning because they had a good defense, they had good special teams, and they played that 3-phase game where the offense didn't necessarily lose them the game, but it married up to the defense and special teams. I think Mac can do that for them.
But here's the key, Steve.
What's the key?
I agree with everything Mike just said. That's how they played in 2001. But also, Tom Brady also came up with drives when he had to have them on a consistent basis. And we won't know that about Mac Jones until the season plays out.
And that's why we'll all be watching. And that's why this is so intriguing.
Clutch, right?
Absolutely.
Clutch. Yeah. Got the clutch gene. We'll see if he has it. All right, guys, don't go far, because we're going to wrap up the show with you guys as well. We'll be back with more Patriots All Access right after this.
Coming up on All Access.
A conversation with Senator David Andrews. You're a dad now.
I am.
Congratulations.
Thank you. You know, my wife, I think that's kind of been my favorite part, seeing her become a mom, and she's done such an amazing job. So, you know, once I get out of here, I'll go home and see him.
And later, we remember that fateful day 20 years ago.
And I thought, oh my goodness, my wife, my sweetheart, went to New York on the 7 o'clock shuttle.
You're watching Patriots All Access.
Patriots All Access is brought to you by Bank of America, official bank of the New England Patriots. By Putnam Investments and the New England Patriots, proud partners committed to an active game plan on the field and off. And by Pepsi. That's what I like. Pepsi, official soft drink of the New England Patriots.
I'm Lauren Spencer with your Patriots Social Media Minute heading into Week 1 of the 2021 regular season. After many long days of training camp and lots of hard work, the Patriots' initial 53-man roster was officially announced last week, and players took to social media to show their excitement for the upcoming season. Before taking the field at Gillette Stadium this Sunday, Matt Judon and Devon Godchaux visited another Boston ballpark, each throwing out first pitches before Red Sox games at Fenway this past week. Finally, with the return of football season comes the return of pregame fashion statements. And before the Patriots' preseason finale last month, Devin McCourty stole the show. He arrived in New Jersey repping fellow Rutgers Scarlet Knight and U.S. Women's National Soccer Team star Carly Lloyd, who recently announced her retirement at the end of this year. That's all for this week's Patriots Social Media Minute. Make sure to follow along all weekend long as we bring you the game day coverage from Gillette Stadium. I'm Lauren Spencer.
Patriots ready to kick off the new preseason. Stevenson with a great run to the outside. Still on the go. Go for Andre Stevenson. Second touchdown for the rookie.
Next week, we're going to be beat up, feeling tired, feeling sorry for ourselves a little bit. You got to earn it.
Harris is in. Touchdown, Patriots.
Way to start there. That's how we're going to have to play on the road, okay? We're going to have to all pull together, and all units are going to have to play good.
A beautiful day here in East Rutherford.
Believe in your talents, fellas. God gave us things for a reason. Show it tonight, all night, no matter how many plays you play. Show up.
And a quick throw, open and completed. Touchdown, Patriots. Pretty throw.
Welcome back to Patriots All Access, everyone. Joining me now is Patriots captain David Andrews. Congratulations on the captain part. We'll get to that in just a second. Is this team ready to go?
Not yet. We're getting there. You know, I think everyone's excited. Put in a lot of work today, and put in a lot of work through training camp, the off season. So be ready to go Sunday.
New quarterback, rookie. What's it like what's the challenge like trying to get him to be on the same page with the rest of the team?
No, I think he's done a great job. You know, and the thing about offense, it takes all 11 of us being on the same page to really execute a play. You know, we've got a great group of guys in that room, and I think we've done a good job of just trying to come out every day, improving, learn from our mistakes. You know, practice is never perfect, but as long as you learn from them and keep improving, I think you know the room's done a good job of that.
He's a focused kid, isn't he?
He is. Yeah, he's done a great job. You know, coming in and doing all of it. I know, kind of starting as a rookie, you know, there's some challenges.
Right.
But you know, there's nothing like it.
I introduce you as a captain. It's quite an honor, isn't it? What does it mean to you to be captain again?
You know, it's such an honor, you know, especially, you know, being in there with guys like Devin McCourty and Matt Slater's done it 11, you know, been a captain 11 years, you know, both of them. So, you know, it's a huge honor, and I'm just glad to be a part of this team and, you know, in this locker room.
You're a dad now.
I am.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Life-changing.
Oh, yeah, life-changing. What's it like being a dad?
It's different, you know. It's been awesome, but, you know, I haven't been home that much, and, you know, my wife, I think that's kind of been my favorite part, seeing her become a mom, and she's done such an amazing job. So, you know, once I get out of here, I'll go home and see him.
Baby boy, what's his name?
James Ford.
James, what do you call him?
Ford.
Ford?
Yes, sir.
Why Ford?
My wife came up with it. My only stipulation was kind of James. I'm James. My dad's James. Granddad's James. So she kind of liked it, and I like Ford pickup trucks. So here we are.
For some reason, I thought you'd go in that direction.
Yeah, it was going to tie back there eventually, but she came up with it, not me.
Not you. As a dad, what are you good at?
Oh, man. You know, I haven't done that much because he's so little. You know what I mean? We'll have to, a couple years, maybe you can ask me. No,
you going to teach him how to snap?
You know, if he wants to, that's what I'll do. I think it would be fun seeing him play hockey. Obviously, I love football, but
hockey.
I think hockey would. I don't know that much about hockey. I got a lot of buddies that play in the NHL, and I've met over the years. So I think that'd be fun to kind of, you know, being up here now and seeing how big the sport is. I think that'd be pretty fun to see.
Well, good luck.
Thank you. Appreciate
the rest
it.
Of the way.
Good to
see
you.
Go. David Andrews, our guest. We'll be back with more Patriots All Access right after this. Welcome back to Patriots All Access. Time to sit down with the coach for the first time this year. And Coach, last time I talked to you was the end of July. We were down there at training camp. How'd the whole preseason go for you?
Well, I felt like we made a lot of improvement. We got better every day. We still have a long way to go. The padded limitations are what they are, and we'll have to catch up with some of those during the season. The joint work with the Eagles and the Giants was good. That was beneficial. That really helped our team. For the most part, we stayed relatively healthy, and we're definitely gaining ground. We're making progress. We have a long way to go, and we'll just take it one day at a time. Try to make each day a productive day.
Was there ever a play, a series, or maybe a moment during a preseason game where you, as the head coach, said, "Wow, it's pretty cool having fans around. Just hearing that crowd roar, whether at practice or a game." Was there ever a moment you can recall during camp where you felt that way?
Yeah, well, I think just the whole environment was one that we're more familiar with and honestly just a little more comfortable with. You know, when something good happens, everybody gets excited, and you know, even when you're in the opposing stadium, it's just that's kind of the norm. And so I think it was good to be back in that environment. Just just the whole thing.
It's not every year where you have this rookie that comes in and makes a big impact. There aren't many Gostowskis, Seymours, McCourties, Mayos, each and every year. There's no guarantee of that. How hard is it for a rookie to start in the National Football League, especially on week 1?
Well, the game's a lot different in the NFL than it is in college, and the competition's a lot different. Each guy has his own unique and individual circumstances, but ultimately, football becomes football, and we all learn from our experiences, and that's part of just growing up, or growing into the job or the position that you hold. So, I think if we feel like they're ready for it, that we'll put them in there, and sometimes that's them being ready. Sometimes it's opportunity where something else happens in front of them, and that dictates the flow of it a little bit. So, but whatever the situation is, we'll do the best we can to get them ready. They'll do the best they can to prepare, and as they gain experience, like we all do, they'll get better.
All right, Coach, time now for the Ace Ticket Twitter question of the week, and it comes from @MaxH. Talking about captains, I know you announced your captains earlier in the week as we get ready for week 1. Can you tell the fans the importance of the captains and their role as the season gets going?
Well, I think the captains have a lot of responsibility and have a lot of roles. I meet with them every week. They represent the team, the rest of the players on sometimes things that we talk about that are important to the team, but I don't have the opportunity to talk to all the players individually. So, there's a kind of representation there, and I think they carry the message from the players to me. They also carry the message from me to the players. We're very fortunate to have the leadership that we have on this team, and I might add that it's not just the captains. As you know, Scott, it's one guy can't do it all, or two guys can't do it all. You need more help than that, and there are we have a lot of leadership on the team that players that aren't captains, but they have a lot of positive leadership. Okay, by the way that they prepare, help other guys out, communicate, and just set a good example on a daily basis on how to get ready to win.
All right, if you want to ask the coach a question next week, you have to follow the team on Twitter @Patriots, hashtag it AskBB. Coach will be back later in the show. Belestrator, all 3 phases with Miami. Take a peek at it all.
Sounds good.
All right, there you go. We'll have the Belestrator for you later in the show, but more Patriots All Access will return right after this.
Coming up on All Access.
We remember 2 Patriots stalwarts.
Touchdown, David Pep! Touchdown, David Pep!
But first, Bill Belichick previews the Dolphins on the Belestrator.
Probably one of the top test athletes, honestly, that I've ever evaluated.
You're watching Patriots All Access.
Patriots All Access is brought to you by Ace Ticket, where New England fans go for tickets to all their favorite events. Visit aceticket.com. By Dan O'Brien Auto. Come into any Dan O'Brien Auto Group store today and get your awesome protection plan. Keeping it awesome. By AdCare. Be recovery strong. Speak up. Reach out. Ask for help. Call AdCare at 800-ALCOHOL. And by Gillette. Look good, game good. Gillette, the best a man can get. This profile is brought to you by Pepsi.
It's hard to believe, but it's been 20 years since September 11th, 2001. So many lives were lost. Even more lives were forever changed. Football helped play a small part in helping rally the country around something good. We look back at that day 20 years ago through a Patriots lens, not only with people who were on the team back then, but also with some who were not.
That is the World Trade Center, and we have unconfirmed reports this morning that a plane...
That looks like a second plane.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God.
I was getting treatment on my knee in the training room.
It was Tuesday. I was working on our preparations for Carolina, getting ready for the quarterback meetings.
Freshman year in high school, and just remember being in class, and then like in between periods, you could kind of hear the chatter in the hallways and stuff, guys talking about it.
Actually filming a Papa Gino's commercial, of all things.
Sitting there in a dentist chair, listening to the radio, and then hearing a small plane hitting the Twin Towers.
I was getting ready to go to high school before zero period, obviously living on the West Coast. We were 3 hours behind, and my mom used to turn on the news every morning. She had the news on, the volume was not up, and I looked over at the TV and I saw the towers, and I saw the plane, and I remember thinking to myself, must be like a new movie coming out.
I was watching the news and saw the plane, the visual of the plane going into the building and the smoke.
Oh, another one just hit. Something else just hit. A very large plane just flew directly over my building, and there's been another collision.
And I thought, oh my goodness, my wife, my sweetheart, went to New York on the 7 o'clock shuttle.
Most of the people working on the set were from New York, and so when this happened, they were all on phones back trying to check on their loved ones and all of that. And I remember, obviously, everything stopped.
I had the TV on one screen and watching the video on the other screen, trying to work on the Carolina preparations. And pretty soon, you're not even watching Carolina. It was just totally consumed by the events of that morning. A morning, unlike any other.
I left that dentist's office and just started making phone calls, and nothing was working. Busy signals, all types of warnings. I couldn't reach anybody in my family that is down there in the New York area. Knowing that my three brothers that are New York City firemen are there, to find out that one of my brothers, Jimmy, was one of the first responders into Tower 1. And, Tower 2 got hit second but fell first, to turn around now and was running out with the building falling behind him. After sitting in front of the TV all day and waiting, and my father telling me that everybody was safe in my family, but knowing that many others weren't safe, and it was tough to think about.
I spent a lot of time speaking with Commissioner Tagliabue and supported the decision not to play at that point in time.
Got on a conference call with the NFLPA, and where all the players were unanimous that we needed a little bit of time for America to sort of mourn and sort of digest the entire situation. So not playing that first week, I think, was the right decision, and we all agreed upon it.
Once the NFL had canceled that weekend, I had jumped in the car because they opened up the bridges and tunnels, the only way to get home to Staten Island. And then getting to my parents' house, and my brother walking in the house, and no words were needed to be said. He gave me 2 fingers close together, just like this, and just gave him a great big hug.
We had a personal attachment as a team to 9/11 through Joe and his family.
I think it's only fitting that a person like Joe would run out for the Patriots with the American flag at that time. Obviously, his family, we all know, American heroes for what they've done.
Just proud that Joe was a part of our team, and that we could share with his family this sort of celebration that, we're still standing. We're all still standing here.
Every time you see that video, it brings you right back to that exact moment. And I can't imagine how proud Joe felt, just representing obviously his family and his brothers, but just all of those men and women that sacrificed a lot.
When people up in New England can cheer for New Yorkers, that's pretty unique. Doesn't happen too much, but that was part of the thrill of seeing the Andruzzi's Joe coming out with those flags.
It was a spur of the moment thing, but also going out there and joining my brothers at midfield and giving them a great big hug. They stood for a lot out there on that 50-yard line, and when they raised those helmets up, you could see the chills in the air.
That weekend was our symbol of our strength and how that we were still here and playing football and proud to be doing it.
It's the Patriots Charitable Foundation's signature event of the year. It's the annual Patriots Premiere that raises money to help deserving and underrepresented communities throughout New England and all over the world. Here are the sights and sounds from last week's gala fundraiser.
You guys haven't been here in, 2 years almost? Ready to meet your 2021 New England Patriots? Matt Judon, Matthew Slater, Devin McCourty, and last but not least, New England Patriots head coach, Bill Belichick.
I must say it's so great to see so many smiling faces back in person, where this event belongs. And for me, and I hope all of you, it's a lot better than Zoom.
We're excited to be joined by more than 75 individuals that went above and beyond the call of duty throughout this past pandemic and as it still goes on. The doctors, the nurses, the medical staff, firefighters, police officers and EMTs, administrators and communication specialists, construction workers, site supervisors, staff and volunteers from a wide range of nonprofit organizations, and so many others. They still deserve it. Keep clapping. This is great.
It's with great joy and gratitude that I present the 19th annual New England Patriots Ron Burton Community Service Award to defensive tackle Lawrence Guy.
Last 21, the snap in place, the kick is airborne to the uprights, the kick is right down the middle, make it 22 straight for Folk. Second down and 10, handoff, Ahmed runs into the right. First past the 30, 35, 40, chased by Jonathan Jones down the right sideline. The snap to a blitz coming, he steps up, he runs across the 5, he cuts it right into the end zone. The Dolphins regain the lead. He throws it left for Ford, fingers it off on the hook and lateral to Ahmed, who scoots in for the score.
Wow, was that pretty?
What's new with the 2021 Dolphins? Well, it's Tua's team. No more Fitzmagic in Miami. Tua had the highest winning percentage of any rookie quarterback last year. They added a playmaker with the 6th overall selection in Jalen Waddle, plus some running back depth with the addition of Malcolm Brown.
Time now for the Belestrator Week 1 here, Miami Dolphins. 3 quick looks at them, Coach, and take a look at them. I think we're starting with defense here with Phillips on the sack.
Well, a couple new players for the Dolphins. Rookies, Jalen Phillips is a first-round draft pick. This is him down at the bottom of the screen, number 15. This player that started at UCLA and then sat out a couple of years, transferred to Miami. Very athletic, fast, explosive. Probably one of the top test athletes, honestly, that I've ever evaluated. His numbers and his size and his athletic skills, go up there against anybody in any era. So, big explosive player on the edge that they've added.
Yeah, it's a tough one right there, too. You want to block this guy as opposed to letting him come scot-free the way they did there.
Yeah, probably not something we want to do a lot of. You know, in the kicking game, it's, you know, Grant, again, a very explosive player, also plays some plays on offense, but this guy's really dangerous with the ball in his hand. He has the speed to get to the edge. He's also got the quickness and ability to just get vertical on the coverage, but here you can see he stretches it, runs away from a couple of guys inside. The Rams never really get the edge of the defense or the coverage set, and then Grant makes a nice cutback move here and takes it to the house. So Dolphins are good in the kicking game. They run a lot of deceptive and fake type plays. They're a good return team. They're a good kick blocking team. So it's been one of the best special teams units we've seen.
Is that a tough thing too to prepare for week 1 because you're not playing, with that unit's rhythm that maybe you have in week 10 or 12? A lot of new guys playing together, especially just making a football team too. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, well, I'm sure that when we look back at week 1, we'll see a lot of unusual and explosive plays in the kicking game, one way or another. So usually you see some big returns, some block kicks, some maybe unusual onside kicks or things like that are just a little different than what you see during the rest of the year, and just because of, as you said, the matchup and the maybe unfamiliarity of some of the players that are on the field in those situations.
All right, in offense, they added some pieces around Tua here, one of his former college teammates, another Alabama kid, Waddle, pretty special in the slot, right?
Yeah, he lines up all over, but plays quite a bit in the slot, number 17, and another similar to Grant, fast, explosive guy. Waddle also returns punts, but that's kind of Grant's thing. But I'm sure they'll have a number of ways to get the ball to Waddle, like this jet sweep they ran against Atlanta, and again, a lot of speed to get outside. Very good with the ball in his hands. Very elusive guy. Explosive on short tear screen type plays, under routes, and also down the field, and can hit the home run ball with his speed and explosiveness. So it's a big weapon for him that the Dolphins have added.
All right, great job. Did our first Belestrator. Got one down, got a bunch to go. 4:30 kick, home opener. That place is going to be jacked and amped. A lot of tailgating, and always good to have that loud crowd to help the defense out, right?
Absolutely, yeah. Well, help everybody out. Be good to have everybody there. Thanks, Scott.
All right, Coach. I'll see you 4:30 on Sunday, and you will too. More Patriots All Access will return right after this.
Patriots All Access is brought to you by Bank of America, official bank of the New England Patriots. By Putnam Investments and the New England Patriots, proud partners committed to an active game plan on the field and off. And by Pepsi. That's what I like. Pepsi, official soft drink of the New England Patriots.
Well, it's certainly been a tough week for Patriots alumni and their family with the recent passing of David Patton. We'll have more on him in just a moment. And we just found out about the death of Sam Cunningham, Patriots Hall of Famer, who died at the age of 71.
My boys and I loved watching Sam Cunningham. He was an intimidating presence in the backfield. He was both powerful and fast, and he could run by most defenders, but what we loved the most, he was really good at running over defenders. And of course, his signature carry was when he would leap into the end zone high with the ball in his hands. We'll always remember his franchise-leading 5,453 yards and his 49 touchdowns. It's my distinct honor to ask Sam Bam to come up here as the 15th member of the Hall of Fame.
Well, it's certainly been a tough week here in Patriot Nation. Back now in our Bob's Discount Furniture Studios with Mike Reese and Paul Perillo, Miami Dolphins. Now the games count. Now they're playing for real. The good news is they're playing a familiar foe, Paul.
Absolutely. They know a lot about Miami, and there won't be a lot of surprises, but I do worry a little bit about the way they play, specifically on defense, the secondary. I think they like to take the ball away, Mike. Xavier Howard is a ball-hawking guy, and with the Patriots, obviously you're starting a guy making his first career start, really, at any professional level. Not even in the preseason he got a chance to start. So that kind of concerns me a little bit. The Dolphins' ability to take the ball away against a young quarterback.
Bill Belichick said they pressure a lot, so that's one thing. But what concerns me is that the Patriots don't have Stephon Gilmore at cornerback. I would feel a lot better if he was out there. And you heard Bill Belichick in the Belestrator talk about Jalen Waddle. Like that's a high-powered rookie. Like when they were up for picking him, they were running to the podium to get the card in. And so to me, the ability to hit big plays down the field against a secondary that's without its best player in Stephon Gilmore would give me some concern.
What do the Patriots have to do to win this football game?
Well, I think first and foremost, you got to protect your quarterback, but that's always going to be the case when you have a rookie back there trying to play. I think they have to get after Tua. I don't want to get Tua comfortable. And a lot of those short throws, remember the game in December last year, Mike? Yes. It wasn't bombs away. I think he threw for 145 yards, but everything was efficient. Every time he needed a completion, he got it. Very high efficiency. Yeah. Don't let Tua get comfortable.
I love everything Paul said. I'm going to go a little bit off the radar here. How about make your field goals? Like, let's not overlook the fact that as of right now, they're going into this game with an undrafted rookie kicker, Quinn Nordine, who has a cannon for a leg, but has been a little erratic at times. Yeah. Now, they could always move Nick Folk, the veteran, up from the practice squad, but as of right now, you're going into a season opener. We talked about unpredictability. You might need the kid to win you the game.
What's opening day going to be like here in Foxborough with fans?
Well, it's going to be nice to have people there. No more library in the press box, Mike. I'm looking forward to that.
Library in the press box?
No, it was bad. Like last year was just so different. And I remember opening day, same opponent. J.C. Jackson picks off a pass late in the fourth quarter, which basically seals the game. I thought he was out of bounds, Steve, because there was no reaction. I was like, well, he intercepted it, right? Maybe he was out of bounds. Nothing. There was no reaction. Crickets. There was nothing. So I just think that atmosphere will be what I'm looking forward to most.
Of all people, you wouldn't expect. Steve Belichick said this week that it almost reminded him of Massachusetts high school football all over again, like very few people in the stands last year. So it'll be electric.
Prediction time. Give it to me, Paul.
Yeah, I think the Patriots find a way to get it done. I don't think it'll be easy. I do think these teams are pretty evenly matched. I like Miami's personnel and I like what they're doing. I just don't think they're ready to come into Foxborough. And again, with that excitement, Mike, 23-17 Patriots.
Yeah, I'm right there with Paul. I'll go 24-17. I actually like the matchup for the Patriots in this sense. You're starting a rookie quarterback. You're at home against a familiar foe. Of all the teams they were playing, like this is one I would put at the top of the list that I think is a good situation for the Patriots.
All right, guys, great stuff. Week 1 finally has arrived.
Will be great, Steve.
Absolutely. That'll do it for this week's edition of Patriots All Access. For Mike Reese and Paul Perillo, I'm Steve Burton. We leave you with a tribute to one of the greatest role players in Patriots history, David Patton. The legend of David Patton's journey to New England is that the speedy wide receiver was loading coffee beans on a truck prior to signing with the Patriots in 2001. It didn't take long for him to make an immediate impact.
Brady the pitch, it's the end around. Coming to David Patton to the 30, painting right to the 25, 20, he's 15, 10, 5, in, touchdown! David Patton. Back to throw, looks, shoots it long and deep and caught at the 50, 40, at the 35, 30, 25, 20, going all the way for a touchdown, David Patton. Brady, it's a quick screen to the left, and Patton's going to throw the football. Shoots it long and deep. Troy Brown, he's got it. He's in, touchdown.
Hey, I know I'm in pretty good company, with the 3 touchdowns in a game, running, throwing, and catching a touchdown. But I actually scored 4 touchdowns this game. At the conclusion of the game, I caught an 8-yard slant route. So I think I might have a little edge on the 2 of those guys. It's pretty great, huh?
Play action fake to the end zone. Touchdown! Touchdown, David Patton!
What a catch.
Oh, brilliant catch. His 4th touchdown of the game.
In the biggest games, especially in 2001, the snow game where he had over 100 yards receiving, the touchdown, which that was a great catch into the sun in the Pittsburgh game, and then of course the double move at the end of the half against St. Louis, and those were, 2 of our 3 touchdowns in the postseason in 2001 were a couple of great plays from him.
Patton retired as a 3-time Super Bowl champion with the Patriots. His passion upon retirement was found in the AWOL ministry in his hometown of Columbia, South Carolina.
If I could commit all of my athletic abilities and talents and my giftings to the New England Patriots organization to help that organization to perhaps be the greatest organization in the National Football League, what should I give to God from a ministry perspective? And I'm constantly evaluating myself. Am I as committed to God as I was to football?